Hi, my name is Jenny Torres, and I am in the Translating and Integrating Research class at the University of New Hampshire. I am here today to present my evidence-based proposal, which is students who vape or partake in nicotine use as a school-led-based cessation prevention program and substance use training compared to no programs lead to decreased nicotine use. The significance of this is that nurses play an essential role in providing care and support for students. Part of their role as a school nurse is to provide health support to students in need, as well as providing students and their families with important health resources. In order to promote healthy lifestyles in the school setting, school nurses play an important role in ensuring students are educated on smoking prevention and smoking cessation programs. According to the National Youth Survey in 2024, over 1.6 million youths in the U.S. were current e-cigarette smokers. With new federal regulations on nicotine sales and flavored tobacco, the youth have found other alternatives such as menthol. Advertisement and social media have been used by tobacco and nicotine companies to target the youth population. The CDC found that 805 cases of e-cigarette related lung diseases, and 16% of those cases were of patients younger than 18 years old. It is significant to remember that e-cigarette or vaping associated lung illnesses are preventable with the help of school nurses by providing educational training and support to students. As a school nurse, it is important to remember to educate students on the importance of avoiding nicotine use and implementing a cessation program for those students who are currently using nicotine products. This would encourage success in school, healthier lifestyle choices, and positive outcomes for their future. PICO questions are used to guide evidence-based projects. For my project, the PICO question is, for students who vape or partake in nicotine use, does a school-led based cessation prevention program and substance use training compared to no programs lead to decreased nicotine use? The patient population is students who vape or partake in nicotine use. Intervention would be the school-led based cessation program. Comparison is to no programs. The outcome would be to see decreased nicotine use. When reviewing literature, keywords and Boolean truncations used in Google Scholar and UNH Library were students and smoking cessation, adolescents and smoking cessation training, and students and smoking cessation program. Filter dates were set for 2015 to 2025. I did these dates because it is important to see the trend of smoking leading up to the sharp rise of e-cigarettes and vaping lung illnesses in 2019. In 2020, the House of Representatives passed an act to ban sales of many flavored e-cigarettes. COVID-19 may have caused the lack of data collected, therefore it is important to include years after the peak of COVID to determine more accurate statistics and results. The overall goal of the research articles in this matrix grid is to assess the effectiveness of smoking cessation programs on improving smoking cessation rates among high school students. The population for the research studies included a sample size of 70 to 535 high school students in various countries. All three studies utilized a quantitative research method to measure the students' addiction to nicotine while in a smoking cessation program. The three research studies utilized various data collection tools to determine the effectiveness of the interventions, including Fagerstrom's nicotine dependence scale, scale of chance questionnaire, decisional balance scale, self-efficacy scale, the Likert type scale, and codeine levels. Data points collected included socio-demographic characteristics such as age, sex, and information on family and friends. Based on the research studies retained, it was found that smoking cessation programs are effective in improving smoking cessation rates among high school students. In one study, it was found that self-esteem also improved after quitting smoking. The evidence is valuable in the school setting to have students be able to have extra support with quitting smoking by using smoking cessation programs. As a school nurse, clinical expertise is important when creating a new improvement plan. Internal evidence such as a local survey within the town of how many students disclose they smoke and how often. External evidence, as discussed in the retained studies, found that smoking cessation programs did improve smoking cessation rates for students. A survey can be created on those students who participated in the program, and the questions asked could help assess the needs of the students. Clinical expertise can also be used by school nurses to assess students' needs and use the feedback to determine what parts of the program were successful and what things need to be improved on. Student preferences and actions play a major role in the success of a school-led smoking cessation program. Patient preference is vital when forming a school-led smoking cessation program. Increased rates of students' engagement occur when student preferences are provided. Feedback on the smoking cessation program and ways for improvement is important. Duly focused questions could be what aspects of this program are helping you quit smoking? What can we do to help you more? Did you feel this program was a big reason for quitting smoking? A survey with these questions would be helpful in the middle and end of this program, so if alterations are needed, they can be made mid-program to adjust to students' needs. The nurse leader plays an essential role in evidence-based practice to provide motivation, support, inspiration, and resources in order to lead to positive work environments, collaboration, and better student outcomes. A transformational leader is one who allows for new ideas, provides motivation and inspiration to help the team grow together, also allowing for better employee satisfaction. Although a barrier such as difficulty agreeing on the same plan due to diverse thinking and innovation, it is important for the leader to set clear objectives and provide continuous support to the team that we're all achieving the same goal of improving smoking cessation rates among students. Having a transformational leader for a school-led cessation program would allow for collaboration between students, school nurses, and other staff members in creating and improving the program to decrease nicotine use among students. Once an evidence-based practice has been implemented, it is important to evaluate the outcomes. As studies reviewed have done, it is helpful to do pre- and post-questionnaires to determine if a school-led cessation program is successful in decreasing nicotine use among students. As a nurse leader, this would help to determine if a student's needs are met and if changes need to be done to improve the plan. In addition, a dashboard can be created that could include post-data performance, root causes of quality issues, and a way for the team to show the program's strengths and ways to improve the smoking cessation program. Creating a survey would be beneficial in also assessing how the team felt through the program and whether they felt the program was a success. It is important for the nurse leader to continuously assess satisfaction to continue motivation, support, and allow for creativity and innovation. In Errol and Balchi's study, a trans-theoretical-based smoking cessation program was found to have decreased nicotine use in students. This type of model has 5 stages in which students progress through each stage using motivational techniques. Techniques included imagining the future, pros and cons of smoking, establishing relationships, and setting goals. Students are able to overcome their obstacles and barriers when trying to quit smoking and increase their self-efficacy. Pre- and post-tests can also be collected on how often a student smokes to determine the effectiveness of this program. In order for evidence-based practice to provide the best student outcomes, it needs to be disseminated and results delivered to the public. As a school leader, I would use evidence-based grand rounds and community meetings to provide education on the importance of school-led smoking cessation programs to decrease the use of nicotine. Hosting grand rounds for staff throughout the district allows for the nurse leader to speak about school-led smoking cessation programs and how it can improve the health of students due to the increasing rates of smoking among students. This would allow for input and discussion from other professionals. Visual slides presentations would also be included with my oral presentation that would include findings from the studies I researched along with the implications for staff. There would be time left at the end for questions and answers to ensure the staff all share the same common objectives. Visual recordings would also be done for those who could not attend to allow for increased participants. To continue the motivation amongst the team, continuing education units, also known as CEUs, and professional development points, also known as PDPs, can be rewarded to nurses and educators for their continuing work and efforts. To continue sustainability, the nurse leader could host faculty meetings along with team meetings to raise awareness to this program, as well as checking in throughout the year to see how the program is going and if improvements need to be made. Community meetings are important for families and students to understand the importance of a smoking cessation program. As the leader, I would provide education and insight to this new program. These meetings would be kept brief and provide an overview of the purpose of this program, along with key evidence points found. In order to help the community retain the information provided, A take-home pamphlet would be given along with time at the end for questions, as this may be overwhelming to the community. During these meetings, the nurse leader could check in with students and families to see their thoughts on the program and whether they feel this program is helping the students to quit smoking and if there were any improvements that needed to be made. In conclusion, for school-led based cessation programs for students to be successful, it is important to include all participants, which are students, school nurse, nurse leader, and staff members. Collaboration with the team and student preferences is essential in improving the program to continue to see decreased nicotine use among students. These studies have demonstrated that using evidence-based practice provided positive outcomes in which smoking cessation programs for students improve smoking cessation rates. With the help of a transformational leader who provides support, motivation, and innovation, school nurses and staff members involved can ideally continue to see decreased nicotine use among students. Here are my references for my evidence-based plan. Any questions, please comment below or send me a message. Thank you for viewing my presentation.